The role of the Yonko in Elbaf. Luffy's role in the Elbaf arc of One Piece. Out of the 4 Emperors of the Sea, Luffy is certainly going to be one of the most important ones in Elbaf, especially because he's the protagonist of the series. As always, Luffy is going to be in the center of things in Elbaf, and even more so here because the legend of Nika directly stems from this country. Fans to know that Luffy will shake the world in this arc in one way or another, and most importantly, he will take one more step closer to the One Piece. Given that Luffy is at the center of things here, he will most likely dive deep into Elbaf culture, and deal with the problems that this country faces. Right now, Elbaf is safe and sound, which isn't really the case in One Piece arcs usually. Most of the time, there are major villains on every island, such as Crocodile in Arabasta, the world government in Enies Lobby, Doflamingo in Dressrosa, Big Mom in Whole Cake Island, and Kaido in Wano Country. Elbaf is different, because there is no major enemy for Luffy to defeat on Elbaf. But, that is precisely why Oda must create an obstacle for Luffy to overcome. There certainly is Loki, who has been built up to be a very powerful and dangerous individual, but, as things stand, Luffy and Loki don't strike the fans as enemies. They might even go on to fight, but in the grand scheme of things, Loki might not turn out to be half as bad as people believe him to be. As far as villains go, Luffy's role in Elbaf is most likely going to be related to opposing a bigger enemy, which fans know to be the world government. This is the arc where the target of the government is going to be revealed to be Elbaf, and Amu might even make a major move in order to destroy this island, which could be termed as its Ragnarok in many ways. As such, Luffy, Loki, and the other giants must band together to oppose the disaster the country faces, which certainly makes for a very interesting plotline. By doing all this, Luffy will eventually take another step closer to the One Piece, and perhaps even find the location of the last road poneglyph, Shanks' role in Elbaf. Shanks is another one of the 4 emperors in One Piece, and after Luffy, he might just be the most important one in this arc. This is simply because Shanks is directly tied to Elbaf, and fans know this because this country is technically under his protection. Shanks is not on Elbaf right now, and this is because he set out on an important mission rather recently. Shanks dealt with Bartolomeo, and, as things stand, he might be on the lookout for Blackbeard. Elbaf is going to be massive for Shanks for more than one reason. For one, fans know that he might intercept Blackbeard and engage in battle with him. If this fight happens, Shanks will most likely not fall, given that his reunion with Luffy is still pending. On the flip side, if Shanks is not able to intercept Blackbeard, then he will likely return to Elbaf, where Luffy will be waiting for him, and a battle with him will ensue. Regardless of what happens, Shanks will have a major role to play here, and depending on which way the plot of Elbaf goes, Shanks could potentially even involve himself in the battle against the government. Blackbeard's role in Elbaf. Blackbeard is one of the most important characters in One Piece, and in the final saga, Oda will definitely pay more attention to him. Blackbeard wasn't heavily involved in the Egghead Island arc, even though he had bits to do here and there. But Elbaf is most definitely going to be different, and fans know that Blackbeard is already on the move after finding out about Dragon's Siege of Marihoa. He plans to do something there, and might even attempt to infiltrate the Holy Land. Whether or not he succeeds in his sinister plan, Blackbeard will take one more step towards the One Piece, which will put him ever closer to battling Luffy. Blackbeard could also fight Shanks in this arc, provided the Yonko manages to intercept him. If this interception is successful, fans will see Blackbeard versus Shanks, which is a much-awaited battle in One Piece, and it is certainly going to elevate the Elbaf arc to new levels. Naturally, fans might believe that it is too early for a Shanks versus Blackbeard battle. However, One Piece is in the final saga and Elbaf is certainly one of the last big arcs in the story. This battle needs to happen sooner rather than later, and it need not see either of these characters fall if Oda plays his cards right. Buggy's role in Elbaf. Finally, there is Buggy. When it comes to the 4 emperors, Buggy is the one that the fans know least about when it comes to predicting his next move. As seen in the previous arc, Buggy declared his intention to go directly for the One Piece, which means that he needs to get his hands on a few poneglyphs one way or another. This also means that Buggy intends to challenge the other emperors, and he needs to do something major, regardless of which way things go. For Buggy to claim the One Piece, he needs to get his hands on the road poneglyphs, which is not easy. Buggy needs to secure the road poneglyphs either from the other Yonko, which is impossibly hard for him, despite him having Mihawk and Crocodile at his side, or he needs to seek out the poneglyphs by himself. He is left with his cunning tactics, which means that he might manage to face off against some other emperors and somehow trick them and steal their rubbings. Buggy might also come face to face against the world government in this arc, given that he is actively hunting down Marines by placing bounties on their heads. This means a clash with the government is inevitable, and it will be incredibly exciting for the fans to see this battle unfold.